on this fantastic night here in Tallahassee. As you can see, as we look outside at Doak, a beautiful sunset is starting to happen, as well as very sunny and also a little bit on the hotter side in the upper 80s. As we can also see, we're seeing in the mid to upper 80s across the panhandle, but if you go closer to the coast, you might get closer to that 70 range as it's looking very nice. Live radar, a little bit of ground clutter, but overall very clear for everywhere. Not a lot going on. We will look at tonight's forecast. Clear skies for the most part with lows in the upper 50s overall, so looking very good. The day planner tomorrow, we'll be starting out a little bit cold as we will be around the 6-degree range, but we will start warming up into the 80s with a couple of clouds possible, but overall looking very nice. The headlines tonight, the temperatures might start climbing back into the 90s here in Tallahassee, and the Northeast is in a little bit of a dry period, but some rain is on the horizon, and the Midwest could be seeing some rain tonight. All in this and more on FSU weather. Oh, shit. God damn it. Thank you, Ryan. It was on. That's your. Hey, good evening here in Tallahassee as we look outside here at Doak Campbell Stadium, where it looks very beautiful with the temperatures looking very nice as well, as we are in the mid 80s overall, looking fantastic for this time of year. Clear outside, not a cloud in sight with a lot of ground clutter overall. And overall, our temperatures, we're a little bit higher than normal. Our lows are just where we want to be, but we will like that cooler weather to arrive. As we will see tonight, we will drop into the 50s with it being very clear. So if you're going stargazing tonight or this weekend, you will have some great weather to look at overall. We look at tonight's forecast, upper 50s for the most part, but as you get towards the coast, you might start warming up into those mid 60s overall with a couple of clouds possible. For Florida State versus Miami, you will be seeing some clouds in sight, but thanks to Hard Rock, there will be some shelter in case there is a possible rain chance here and there. But we will be sitting in the upper 70s for the most part. And for our dog walk forecast, we will be seeing great temperatures tomorrow. We'll start out a little cold, so you might want that jacket in the morning overall. But we'll start getting very sunny as the sun comes up, and those temperatures will respond by increasing as well. Our beach forecast, if you're looking to go to the beach like I will be doing this weekend, lower 80s overall with a lot of sun, so be aware of that sunscreen as you will need it with the sun being out and a higher UV index. A little bit of a risk for rip current as it will be moderate, so make sure you are paying attention to where you are in the ocean and make sure you're not getting too far and you're near that lifeguard stand. But looking very great right now. The average is looking in those mid 80s overall, but some areas climbing up close to those 90s areas, and then the coast is just a little bit cooler overall. We look at our 7-day forecast, you can see the heat will persist. It will continue to warm up, but as we get into the work week next week, you're going to see that those 80s will start coming back around as our lows will start stabilizing in the 60s range overall, but we will be looking very nice for next week once again. Just a great time to be outside and enjoying it. As we take a look around the southeast, you can see it's a similar story overall. Clear skies, beautiful sunsets for a lot of these areas, and just a great time to be productive outside, or if you're heading home from the workday, it's looking very nice overall. We look at our not a cloud in sight on the radar right now. A couple here down by Miami and a couple off the coast of Texas, but overall looking very nice. Very great time to be outside and just enjoy the weather to its fullest right now as this high pressure has cleared out a lot of cloud coverage overall. We look at Friday, you might see a couple of clouds stray in if you're closer to the coast, or if you're down closer to Clearwater, there might be a couple of clouds, but the temperatures are going to be fantastic. We're going to be seeing upper 80s for the most part. You go a little bit more north, you might see closer to 70s, but the high pressure has really cleared out a lot of those clouds and allowed these temperatures to get a little bit warmer than we normally want this time of year. As you can see, we're looking at the 80s for the most part. Down in Florida, it's a little bit more stable thanks to that sea breeze that's going to be keeping us a little bit cooler. And to the northeast in Charlotte and Nashville, 70s, thanks to that cold front that is starting to push through the northeast that we'll look up at a little bit more later. But you see at tonight's forecast, we're looking at the mid-50s overall. A couple of areas will be touching the 60s or 40s, but overall looking very nice. For tomorrow's forecast, the same story persists. You can see lots of sun and upper 80s for the most part, with some areas seeing a little bit more clouds that will stray in from the Gulf or from that front to the north overall. but it will be looking very nice for your outdoor plans tomorrow afternoon and for the weekend. In Nashville, some clouds, but some great temperatures. You can see they're going to get a little bit colder as a cold front might pass through on Saturday and lower the temperatures, but we will start warming up again as we get into Monday, as we start climbing up into the 80s. New Orleans looking very nice this weekend with lots and lots of sun overall and mid 80s overall, with some great temperatures to go outside and just enjoy to the fullest to what it can be and what it will look like this weekend in New Orleans if you're trying to enjoy it. As we look out in the Pacific, a little bit further away from the Atlantic here in Tallahassee, but Christy has been classified as a Cat 5 hurricane. As you can see, the little pinhole eye right here, just the really small. A storm is not very big in size, but it does pack quite a punch. But thankfully, for those on the Pacific coast, it's not going to go anywhere near the coast. It's going to start spinning out to sea, where it will start deteriorating thanks to that cold weather in the Pacific. So very good news for those of us on the islands in the Pacific or near the coast. Back home in the Gulf and the Atlantic, no activity is expected for the next week, so just a very nice time to go outside and enjoy the coast here in Florida. If you're on the southeast border or anything like that, great time to go enjoy it, as we have nothing to fear right now with the southeast activity that is happening, as there's no tropical cyclone that we need to be worried about. And that's just a great thing to know and understand, is that, hey, if you're looking to go to the beach in Florida, you're going to see that, hey, we don't have to worry about any of those possible hurricanes or tropical storms, as guess what? They will be nowhere near us, which will be very nice overall. And if we look at, well, graphics aren't working perfectly, but for those of us who are thinking that maybe there could be a tropical storm inbound, just be aware that you don't have anything to worry about this weekend. And as we look up here at Chicago, as we're going to take a look at the Midwest and the possible front they're going to see coming into tomorrow, you're going to see a front will push through that will bring some cloud coverage to the Midwest area and around the Great Lakes, with Chicago probably seeing a good amount of that rain, near an inch in a very short period of time over Friday. So if you are in those areas, just be aware that there could be a possible flash flood. Not extremely likely, but we want you to be prepared in case it does happen. But that front will bring some rain to the Midwest areas around the Great Lakes as it pushes through. And you'll see as it just sweeps across the Great Lakes through Chicago and Michigan City. So make sure if you're going out Friday night, or if you're going out tonight actually, be aware that there is a front coming through and there will be some rain. So make sure you have a jacket and umbrella, and you might just want to push those afternoon plans off till Friday, because as you can see, it'll clear out Friday. The temperatures will decrease just a little bit on Saturday and Sunday, but it will start warming up with some clouds possible again on Monday overall. We look at the future forecast here. You can see the rain will just push on through again for the Pontiac area. They might see some rain in Detroit as well, but overall looking very nice once that rain pushes through, as the temperatures will decrease just a little bit back into the 50s with a couple of clouds pushing in on Monday, but the highs will start warming up again into the 60s. So if you're looking to have a little bit of more fall weather in those areas, it might get a little bit more cold than your taste overall, but it will be looking very nice for those areas. And if we go to the Northeast in New York and Philadelphia, well, they need that rain really bad. It's just been a lot of drought in that area, so it's something that we will be looking at. As you can see, that they have had 24 days in New York City without rain, which is not close to the record yet, but it is something we'll be watching, as a lot of those areas have not had rain in weeks. We look at the fire warning right now, you're going to see that, well, a lot of these areas right here, you can't really see it, but they are under a fire weather warning, as those dry conditions has not allowed it to be any safer because of the fact that they haven't seen a lot of rain. You're going to see this gust right here been pushing up off the Atlantic, has brought some gusts to New York City. And you can see on Friday around noon, you're going to see that front off to the west is going to start pushing on through, which will increase the gusts for Cleveland and Buffalo. You're going to see a couple of stray showers possible on Sunday, as a little bit of moisture will be drawn in from the north, which could help those areas like New York and Boston who need that rain to get a little bit of maybe some trace amounts of rainfall that will help with those fire conditions overall, as they have been struggling to find rain at times. And you're going to see not a lot of rain in those areas. A lot more rain is concentrated around Cleveland and Buffalo, near those lakes areas, as it just hasn't moved through enough for New York and Philadelphia and those areas that really need that rain. But we will be hoping at some point That a low pressure system will move through and bring some rain to those areas that badly need it right now, as they've just been struggling to find rainfall with just not having enough. We look at Doak one more time, you're going to see that, just looking beautiful. Beautiful to enjoy it, right? Over our beautiful stadium with just great temperatures overall in the 80s, heating up very nicely for us this time of year. You're going to see radar, we're looking great as well, just fantastic. Great way to enjoy the evening, go out, hang out with some friends on the porch. Just enjoy the weather to its fullest, as it has given us such a great moment right now to be able to hang out and enjoy. We look at our temperatures today. We're looking above average with our high, thanks to that high pressure unit, which has cleared out the clouds, and as the cold front has pushed through, our temperatures have started warming up again. So unfortunately, it's a little bit higher than you might want, but tonight it will start approaching the 60s again. So at night it will be a little bit colder, but tomorrow that forecast will show that the temperature will start increasing again. We look at tonight's forecast across the region, you're going to see 50s across the board with a couple of areas touching the mid-60s close to the coast thanks to that sea breeze. We look at the game one more time. Great weather to go watch some college football at night. A couple of clouds here and there that will help stabilize these temperatures in the upper 70s. But if you're going to cheer on the FSU Noles, cheer them on loud and proud inside of Miami's home stadium, as we hope they can pull off what we hope to be an underdog win, but we really want them to just pull it out big time. As you can see, our temperatures tomorrow will be sitting in the mid to upper 80s overall in a lot of these areas, a little bit cooler closer to the coast thanks to that sea breeze, but looking very nice and just enjoying it. Pool forecast. Fantastic time to enjoy the pool tomorrow after classes. Lots of sun, temperatures close to 90 degrees, so it will be very hot outside, so a great time to enjoy the cooler waters of the pool or the beach overall. Just enjoy it to its fullest. And we look at the 7-day forecast with the weekend always in view. You're going to see we're going to stick around those 90s this weekend, but as we approach the work week next week, you're going to see that the 80s will start coming back around, but it will start warming up again towards the middle of next week with some clouds possible, but the weather will persist. A great time to enjoy it if you're taking those pictures outside with the pumpkins or looking for those fall photos for you and your family. It's a great time to enjoy it. Have a great night, FSU. This has been student meteorologist Matthew Wisnett.